This is not an ad for a fake mobile game. It's actually a shopping app, and it's probably one of the most deceptive things I've ever seen. But more on that later. Over the past 5 years, shopping apps have been on a journey to push their users closer to bankruptcy, with their revenue increasing by 136% and hitting a market value of $4 trillion. However, in some small countries like the United States, mobile shopping accounts for only 10% of all retail sales, meaning there's huge potential for shopping platforms to clean the up. This has pushed them to try anything and everything to get you to not only download their app, not only use their app every day, but also take out a small business loan so you can continue buying giant AirPods. They do this by digging through your personal data and showing you products that they think you might like, raising the original price of an item and then giving you a discount, and of course, mini games, and mini games, and mini games, and mini games. How are shopping apps going from convenience to brain rot? Let's talk about it. The other day I was scrolling Amazon for fun and a natural thought popped into my head. Good God, I'm scrolling Amazon for fun. Hedonic browsing, or scrolling shopping apps for the sake of entertainment without having a goal to buy a specific product. Now this is different from a shopaholic where people have an uncontrollable urge to buy something. Hedonic browsing is just browsing. You're curious about what's out there. It's kind of like how old people walk around the mall at 6 in the morning. That being said, hedonic browsing can lead to impulsive purchases. This study says hedonic browsing creates what they call a flow experience, or in other words, a mind orgasm. And when your mind is coming all over the place, you're more likely to make dumb purchases. Impulse buying is borderline an epidemic. It accounts for over 50% of all online purchases. 64% of Americans make an impulse purchase at least once per month. 28% make a purchase at least once per week. And 6.7% of Americans make an impulse purchase every single day. In 2022, it was found that the average American spends $450 a month on impulsive purchases. That's f***ing insane. If you instead threw that into an index fund, that's like $1.5 million in 40 years. Imagine how many $7 Nintendo Switches you could buy with that. The main reason I'm making this video is because a few weeks ago I got a random ad for some cooler that can hold ice for like 8 days. I thought, wow, that's like more than a week. I wonder how much longer they can go. So I dove into a deep rabbit hole about coolers. Did I need a slick-looking $400 Yeti with a 10-year warranty? Or did I need a budget-friendly Arctic that was sued by Yeti? Or did I not need a cooler in the first place? It's that third option. But I still continue to scroll and read forums and even watch videos on how to hack a cheap cooler to be just as good as a $400 one, which, by the way, doesn't even work because the thermal properties in a can of $10 spray insulation is not as good as like the insulation in a... Doesn't matter. Then I started to get non-stop ads for coolers, which made me think about wanting a cooler even more. I don't know if it was the thermal technology or how aesthetically pleasing they look. That's a pretty dang good looking cooler, isn't it? What's wrong with me? And I learned that it's not even about the cooler. It's about how you pre-cool the cooler before you cool it. Anyway, after weeks of scrolling, I finally broke down and bought one. Remember, not because I needed one, but because the voices in my head were getting out of control. Do you get what I'm saying? I bought a $200 cooler just so I could stop thinking about wanting a cooler. I have a problem, and I assume so do other people, which got me thinking, how do shopping platforms prey on our weakness for smooth-looking pieces of plastic to get us to scroll their apps? Some platforms like Amazon, Target, and of course, Home Depot have already figured out how to get you to scroll until you have carpal tunnel by giving you tailored recommendations, daily discounts, and buckets, baby, which are inferior to the Blue Lowe's bucket. I will fight you if you disagree. But the worst of these are Temu, Shein, and AliExpress, and not because of their clunky design or the terrible quality in their products, or even that it feels like you're committing a crime when you're using them, but because they've introduced the concept of gamification to their platforms. Mobile games are the top category for iOS and the Google Play Store. It's a gamer's world, we're just living in it. Fitness apps like Fitbit, productivity apps like Forest, and education apps like Duolingo have all created fun little games for their users. Whether it's getting your daily steps in, or staying focused while doing homework, or avoiding nightmares where that green ghoul is chasing you. These apps have made what are normally mundane tasks a little bit more rewarding and, shall I say, fun. Well, shopping platforms are now also trying to bring the gaming element to the experience. The first time you open T-Machine or AliExpress, you're bombarded with coupons, special discounts, countdowns, and even ultra easy mode. Everything is go, go, go. The timers make it seem like you're in a Formula 1 race to buy as many kitchen containers as you possibly can, because goddammit, this is your last chance, buddy. But the real issue is the actual games, and the games within the games on these platforms. They start out with having you pick some crap you don't need, which they call a free gift. And then they're like, we'll do you one better. Pick 3 more. And then it begins. Non-stop animations, coins, more animations, power-ups. Have I mentioned animations yet? Progress bars. Oh, almost forgot. Animations. All of this for absolutely nothing. Half of the games will show your progress bar fill up exponentially slower until you get to like 99.9%. And then the only way to continue is to invite a friend. But we don't have any friends, so we say no. So it does a quick little animation showing that your stuff is getting packaged or that it even already got shipped, but to confirm, you have to invite a friend. And then the loop repeats. After reading some forums, it seems that you have to invite tens or even hundreds of people to actually get the free stuff. And the other half of the games are a little bit more deep. They start out with having you water a tree or feed a wild dog, and then a bunch of other stuff starts happening, and at one point you're competing with some stranger. Anyway, the more you feed, the more the progress bar fills. Once the progress bar gets to like 99%, you run out of food. To get more food, you can of course invite a friend, but you can also come back later in the day, scroll through products for 30 seconds, add items to your cart, and even buy food with real money. This is f***ing insane, but it's also completely genius. I guarantee there are some people out there that live for this stuff. I want to emphasize the word some, because it's definitely not me. I had to use these apps in like 10-minute intervals because all of this literally gave me anxiety. I had no idea what the f was happening here. I assume the majority of people don't want to spend half their day trying to figure out if they're shopping or hallucinating on mushrooms. But keep in mind, this is only the beginning of gamifying shopping apps. Platforms are most likely going to continue experimenting what types of games keep users on the app longer. I also think it's a matter of time before other platforms like Walmart and Denny's do the same. Gamification of fitness, productivity, and education apps has a net positive outcome. The worst case about being addicted to Duolingo is becoming fluent in another language and then having to go to that country to learn about the culture. And I mean, that's not that bad. The worst case about being addicted to T-Machine or AliExpress is 40 years of credit card debt, brain rot 2.0, and being featured on an episode of Hoarders. But hey, at least you're a savvy shopper. If you like what you saw, check out my other videos. Thank you.
The rat goes like this, like this, like this. You are now a normal rat.